Hello and welcome. My name is Andrew Waterman, and I'm a reporter for the Telegram and SaltWire Network in St. John's. Today, I'm speaking with Eddie Spurl. He's a Newfoundland-born, movie-obsessed man behind the YouTube channel Newfie Reactions. Good morning, Eddie. How's it going?
Super. How are you?
Not too bad. So tell me about this. I feel, as we were saying just a little bit previously, I feel like this is a whole world outside of what I really know about. Tell me what you've created.
All right. First off, let me thank you for having me on here. I truly appreciate it. So what have I created? Basically, I have two reaction channels, one dedicated to movies and one for pretty much everything else, music, comedy, like stand-up comedy, variety videos, things like that. So I basically have two separate reaction channels, and a lot of people probably don't know what a reaction channel is. It is pretty popular in the main scheme of things, but a lot of people don't really know. So to sum it up real quick, essentially, I just sit down and I watch something for the first time, and I record myself and I share it with the world, and they get to watch along as I check something out for the first time, whether that's a movie, a particular music video, whatever, some stand-up comedy, and I just build an online community, and we all just laugh and have good times together.
I've been wanting to ask you about that as well, because I understand it intuitively. When I watch someone react to something, like I remember watching a gentleman react to the first time hearing Take a Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed. And I'm someone who loves Lou Reed. So it was fascinating to me to watch him get super into it. But what is it? Like, I mean, we could all do that ourselves. We could all sit down and react to movies in real time ourselves. What is it about watching somebody else do it that has garnered attention for yourself?
Well, I think what people get out of it is you get to go through and experience once again the joy or love you have for something of somebody else experiencing it for the first time. So it's like recently I went through the Harry Potter films for the first time, and people couldn't believe that. They're like, how have you not watched Harry Potter before? But and then suddenly, like that video got like 175,000 views. So that's like 175,000 people that wanted to, just tune in and watch somebody experience the whole Harry Potter world for the first time. That can go with any kind of movie or music video. So it's when somebody is so passionate and loves something so much, it's just they want other people to fall in love with it as well, right? And to see just to come along on that journey. Like if you had a friend and you just went to a movie theater and you watched a movie and you were just like, that was the greatest movie ever, you'd love to sit with them probably and watch it and get their reaction in person. Like we always used to do that before the internet. At least I did with my buddies back home. So it's kind of the same thing, except now I just, you record yourself and you throw it into the world and see what happens.
Yeah, you just remind me, I have a terrible habit of when I see something that I really enjoy, I'm like, oh, you got to watch this. And then I'll just watch the person and like, it probably makes them uncomfortable. And then if they don't react or laugh in the way that I want them to, it's like, what? Why not?
Especially with comedies. If you're going to watch a comedy with somebody, you're like, this is the funniest movie ever. And you sit there and then they're like not laughing. You're like, what's happening? Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So speaking of comedy, I mean, it seems like you try to put a little bit of that into your videos as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Why is that?
Well, it's not like I'm trying to put on a comedy routine or an act. I'm just being myself, and I'm a bit, a silly kind of jokester. I'm Newfie, so in general, I'm kind of silly. I think, at least don't take offense to that, Newfies. But, I just feel like Newfoundlanders are so jovial and carefree and easygoing people that it relates to the world when you put yourself out there. When every job I've had, like when I moved to Nova Scotia and that kind of thing, and people right away, people could tell I was a Newfie, and I don't have a strong Newfie accent, but even though I spent my whole life there pretty much, but I don't know. It's just people just tune in, and I just try to have a good time with them. And sometimes I'll get on silly a little bit, but not to the point of putting on an act. It's just my natural reaction to how something is. If something is shocking or whatever, I might just freak out in a way that people are not used to. Like I got mostly an American audience, so they're not used to seeing, somebody act the way I am. I get a lot of people are like, are you Irish? Are you Scottish? Are you from Some people think I'm an auctioneer from down in Michigan, or I don't know, down the US somewhere. I get auctioneer so much, and I'm actually slowing my speech now because I have an Invisalign in. Otherwise, I would be slurring very badly. But before I got the Invisalign in, I was talking very fast, and people enjoyed it. I would talk so fast that people would be like, how is he doing that? Right? And I'm like, well, Newfies talk fast. That's just how it is, right? So, but now I have to slow my speech and put the tongue different places in order to speak. But anyways, we won't talk about that. Oh my.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've had similar experiences with people who are just like, can you slow down? Like, I don't know what you're saying. But I guess, can you take me along the journey? Like, what?
Sure.
When did you start? How did it go? Where? Like, how did it build?
All right. So I would say 2 or 3 months before COVID was a thing. Basically, I started the channel. I just started reacting to some music videos just because I was watching other channels that did reactions of music. So I was like, why not? I'll do it, in my spare time. And I'd put out a couple of videos a week or whatever. And it was like slowly growing. I was kind of like just doing it as a fun hobby just to see. But then COVID happened, and I worked for somewhere in the aviation industry. I won't name the company, but basically, I like the company though. The company's awesome. But anyways, I basically worked in the aviation industry, and obviously, when COVID happened, all the flights stopped. Drastically. Everybody stopped flying. So then I had to come home, and I'm like, okay, well, I got a lot of free time. What am I going to do with it? So then I went full on head first into doing reaction videos, because I was like, what if the world doesn't go back to normal? What happens if I won't have a job to go back to? If airplanes never fly again? In the beginning of the pandemic, people were thinking like that, like, what's going on here? So anyways, so I went fully into reaction videos and, put like between 40 to 60 hours a week at it. And the channel grew and kind of started to take off. And after a short while, I was like, you know what? I want to do movies as well. So after about a year of it, I guess, about a year, I was like, I branched off into a second channel for movies. And so now I've been doing both channels simultaneously, side by side. And I spend 40 to 60 hours a week at it. Definitely at least 60 hours a week. But so that's pretty much it, other than, that's pretty much it. Unless you have any other questions.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm fascinated because you definitely have a personality that like lends itself to do this kind of thing. And so I guess, like, where does that come from? Have you just always been that way, or did you learn as you did the videos?
I was always a class clown growing up in school. Most all my friends will always message me now when they see that I'm on YouTube, and they're like, you're the same as you were when you were in elementary school or high school. Just being silly, class clown. I grew up while all my other kids were watching sports or doing other things like whatever. I was like watching comedy specials. Saturday Night Live was my favorite show of all time. Watching like Jim Carrey movies, everything to do with comedy, late night television, Dave Letterman, all those stand-up. I just was obsessed with watching comedy. So I just naturally would steal their material, work it into my life, get a bunch of laughs from my friends and family. And then I just brought that with me throughout life, wherever I went, whatever job I went, just try to be silly and brighten people's day and just have a good time. Right. And other than that, I just kind of try to portray that as best I can through a webcam to strangers on the internet that I'm not actually interfacing with, can't see their face and everything. So that's completely different. But, I still just try to be myself and just have a good time with it and make jokes when I can, be silly when I feel like being silly, or I'll dance in my chair. I'll put on a song and I'm just dancing away the whole time. There's not many reactors that dance. I don't know if I've ever seen many others that actually do it. So, if I feel the reason to move, get up and dance, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, why not? And let's talk a little bit about the strangers on the internet, because you did mention before as well that you are living in Nova Scotia, but you've had some issues with people who have been perhaps a little too into your channel. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, it's basically, you get sometimes people, they become a fan and, they enjoy my work and they start messaging and I message back. I try to message back as much as I can to everybody. But then some people, like, they'll just message and keep messaging. You start having a conversation. But then that developed into, like, if I didn't reply within a day or two, then they were getting upset. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm super busy, right? I got literally like 100 people messaging me, you know, every couple of days or whatever. So, you know, I'm just doing the best I can. Plus, I got to get my work done. And then it developed to like this on and off. It's just like, oh, you're totally awesome one day, and then the next day is like total rage and hatred because, like, you know what? They're like, I poured my heart out to you and you don't have time to reply. And this has only been like 24 hours or something. And so, and then just kept escalating and getting into things where it's just like, you know, people getting a little bit too graphic, not in like a violent way. I've never got any violent threats, but just in like, you know, sensual ways, we'll say. So, but, and then I'm like, okay, you know, I got a wife and kids. I have no interest in this kind of thing. And then they, you know, and it's just, I don't know whether it was just somebody, you know, with some kind of personality disorder that was like, they're different people each day, maybe, but I don't know. It just, when you get emails that are like, I don't know, thousands of words long, and it's just somebody raging out at you, and then the next day is like, oh, I apologize, that wasn't me, and then it's like just another big long 1,000-page thing with just like you know, apologies, and I'm just like, okay, I can't, you know, you gotta start getting rid of these people. And then you also had people message me like, hey, pretty cool, you're in such and such town, so they figure out exactly what town I'm in, even though I never said it anywhere on my channel. And then people, because some other reaction channels online as well have, I've seen have had people like pranking them. So having like things delivered to their door, or like in every couple minutes there'd be like a special delivery to their door. Or just weird things happen to people when you put yourself out on the internet. People that show up to your house, right, and will knock on the reactor's door and stuff. So that hasn't happened to me yet, but I'm just preparing for it, and I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're a father. You have children. How many children do you have?
I have two, a boy and a girl Summer and boy Nate, and my wife Shelly.
Right on. And they must, I don't know what their ages are, but they must love all those toys in the background. I'm assuming.
They're not allowed to touch those. Those are toys. Okay. First off, they're not toys. These are, okay, right here, these on the bottom, these are just World of Warcraft collectibles. They're like, you don't play with them. They just sit on the shelf, right?
Okay.
Now up here, well, these little ones up here, those are miniatures. So one of my main hobbies is miniature wargaming. I know, I'm a huge nerd, okay? So like those little models there, I would assemble them piece by piece. I glued their head on and that kind of thing, their arms and weapons, and then spray paint them and then paint them by hand. And yeah, that's what I would do. And then you play like a miniature tabletop game. So it's kind of like a board game, sort of, and it's miniature war games. And if you'd like, just for, I don't know if this will work,
sure,
but check this out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm in the process of painting Back to the Future, you know.
Wow.
And yeah, and I got thousands more of these. Like it's kind of scary to know how many of those I have.
That's crazy. So maybe your kids are actually quite the opposite. They're like, oh my God, toys are just tedious and oh, sorry, right. They're not toys. Right.
Exactly. They're not toys. But I don't let them play that because they would get snapped and broken, and you take all the time to hand paint something. But, you know, they have no shortage of toys up there. Don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So what does your family think about what you do?
At first, my wife was just kind of ignoring it and was just like, well, I don't understand it, so whatever, you just do your thing. And now she's come around to it and appreciate it and like it or whatever. She doesn't watch any of my videos, though. So, but I don't mind. I don't mind that. She sees me enough. She don't need to see me like, you know, pumping out 10 videos or, you know, I was going to say more like 3 videos a day or whatever. And, you know, she ain't got time for that. She's a nurse. She's a nurse. She's busy doing her thing and taking care of kids and everything else, you know, while also being a nurse. And, but the kids, I don't let them watch it yet because they don't really need to. They're too young. They're 6 and 11. So, yeah, it's like, you know, they don't need to be watching me react to a Britney Spears video or going through and watching some kind of movie that's above their age limit.
Yeah.
So when they get a bit older, sure, if they want to watch their dad be a fool on the internet, why not?
And is this your full-time thing now? I mean, you said you do it for 60 hours sometimes a week or something?
Yeah. Basically, yeah, like where COVID went for a long time and we were getting, a portion paid by the government because I work for the aviation industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the government was helping support and I was staying home. But basically then I had the option to return to work, but it would have had to have been in a different department, which means I would have had to work night shifts. And my wife only does night shifts, 4 on 4 off as a nurse. I would have to go in for like 4 on 4 off as a night shift. And I'm like, this can't work, especially like with the pandemic and trying to get babysitters to come in and watch the kids. And like, oh my, I'm like, there'll be 20-hour periods where we won't even see our kids because we'll both be sleeping 12 hours or 8 hours and working 12. But I was like, can't do that. So yeah, I basically turned this into, that's why I do like 60 hours a week or more, is because I'm trying to grow it to the point to be my full-time income. And some months are good. Some months I make just as much or more than I was making with my previous job. Wow. And then other months I'm, less, like, several $100s less. So it's like, I'm still at that point where I'm still trying to grow it up. So that's why I'm still grinding hard, still putting in as much work as I can. But my plan is, this is it from now on. This is what it's going to be. I don't plan to return to, a regular job doing whatever. I'm going to stay here in the basement because I can be home for the kids. I'm just going to work my butt off and see if I can grow this up to, be my full-time thing. Well, it has to be now. I'm just, I'm just making sure that I'm budgeting my money properly.
Right.
Because it fluctuates. It's not like a steady paycheck where like you get the same amount every week. This is like, how many people watch the ads on your video? How much Patreon support? Did you have a lot of people sign up this month to support you or not? Right. So it's like, those are main two things that like, so you can have awesome months that go spike up and then some that go down. And I've had some super generous people. I've had like this one particular patron who at Christmas time, he's just like, hey, here's $1,000 US. Just because you're awesome. I'm like, wow. Cool. So, and sometimes things like that happen. So yeah, but I'm pushing for it to be my job. It pretty much is. I just, got to work a little bit harder for now and I'll slow down when I can actually, be happy that no matter what, even on a bad week, I'm still getting a regular paycheck. Right.
Yeah. It must be a wild ride.
Oh yeah. For sure. It's, never know. Pretty much at the end of each month, I go and I look and I say, like, how much money did I make this month? Was it a good month or a bad month? So, yeah.
Well, let's get to, like, I mean, how can people find you? Tell me all about your different social media and your channels.
Sure. You just search Newfie Reactions. Newfie Movie Reactions is one of the main ones that, I'm focused on both pretty much equally, I should say, because, the movie reaction one, I'm really trying to get that one to grow. I'm enjoying watching the movie. So it's just called Newfie Movie Reactions. That's for the movies or some TV content as well. And then Newfie Reactions, which is my original channel, is for all the other things. Mostly music, a little bit of comedy, that kind of thing. And and so if you search, actually, I was going to say search Newfie Reactions, but no, I'm actually Newfie Spirit on Instagram, if you care to follow me on Instagram. I originally was Newfie Reactions, but I don't know why I changed it to Newfie Spirit. And now I'm like, oh, maybe I should have kept the other one. Anyways, too late now. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it.
And is there like a particular time that you release the videos?
Yeah, well, on the music channel, it's every day, which is, I put up a video every day, 7 days a week, at least one. On that channel, and that is what time? Usually around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the day, and that's Nova Scotia time here. But Newfoundland's on like half-hour difference, so
right.
And same with the other channel. The other channel now, I try to put out one movie a week because it actually takes usually about 25 to 30 hours to edit each movie reaction. So it's a huge time sink because if you watch them, you'll see the amount of detail and editing that goes into it. Like, it's a lot. I'm basically taking a movie that's like 2.5 hours long and condensing into 30 minutes. And then I got to line up each frame because I got my little webcam in the corner. And then I got to line up each time that camera in a movie flicks to a different scene. I got to realign it so that people can actually see it on my screen, because I'm zoomed in and I don't want my bubble covering it up and whatever. Anyways, I won't bore you with all that. But it takes like 30 hours per movie to edit those. So one of those a week, and I did throw in some TV shows when I can, like TV. I'm going through TV show Community, if you remember that old show with the community college. But anyways.
Oh, right. Yes, I did see that you had some videos of that. Yeah, that's funny. You know, I did think about that. The fact that, you know, people who are maybe outside of this sort of realm, I guess, for lack of a better word, would probably think, oh, how simple it is. He's just sitting in front of a camera and reacting. But I mean, the amount of editing and the amount of,
Sure, if you just have to sit down and watch a movie and hit record, that's the most fun part of the job. Hitting record and just being in front of the camera and watching something and being entertained. But then when the camera goes off and you've got to spend hours editing all this and like answering people in the comments and like, you know, 7 or at least 80% or more of my week is actually spent editing and working on other things and interacting with the community and answering questions or whatever. It's only a small percent that you're actually recording things. That's just the way it is, right? Because that's how it is.
Yeah, for sure. I know you put a lot of work into this, and that you've seen your channel grow. But does it shock you at all?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, when I started, I can remember, like, if a video got 100 views, I was like, yes. And in my very first video that broke 1,000, I was like, woo, dancing around the kitchen, freaking out. And now, you know, like 1,000 is just like, you know, get 1,000 views is kind of on the low end, right? So, and it just escalates, and the more subscribers you get, the more viewers, and it's just so. I've been doing it for 2 years, and I'm at just over 47,000 subscribers on the music channel, and I just hit 17,000 on the the movie one, I should say.
Cool.
Which is good, a good amount. You know, there's lots of other people on the internet that grow way faster, and some that grow much slower. So I'm okay with my pace. Everything seems to be going good, and I'm just doing what I can with the time that I have, right? Because I'm still a father, and I got to take care of the kids. If wife's going to work for 4 days, she's only working and sleeping for 4 days. I'm on kid duty, house duty, everything else. So, you know, is doing what I can. Also, I don't know if you knew this, but not a big deal. But this is my own merch here. I designed this.
Oh, nice.
See, peace and love. It says that's kind of my slogan. At the end of each video, I just go peace and love, everybody, just to spread peace and love. The world needs it right now. We won't even get into that topic, but. I only designed a couple different simple shirts. Like one that says, like, it's like a picture of like the Newfoundland flag, and it says Newfie Reactions. And then I got another one that says "Born to be friggin' sweet." But other than that, I just put that on the side just for fun, you know. And I priced them at the bare minimum, man. Like, I want to make a couple of dollars per item. I just did it for fun. It's not right, because the original price was like. What the website wanted was way too much. It was like a $20 profit per shirt. So I was like, I can't charge $50 or more for a T-shirt. I'm like, it's a T-shirt. Come on now. Ain't nobody going to pay that. So yeah. Anyways, I just figured I'd throw that out. I just happened to look in the camera and seen that I was wearing this one. So I was like, oh.
All good. And so where can people find that? On your Patreon, I imagine? Or
no, it's just newfiemerch.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I bought the URL. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
I'm surprised it wasn't taken. It seems like everything Newfie is available. Because I know some Newfoundlanders get offended by the word Newfie, don't they?
Yes. Yes.
I embraced it. I fully embraced it. And I don't know. I've never had anybody get mad at me. One funny thing, though, you'd be surprised how many people message me and they'll watch my video and be like, "We just watched your video. Where's the dog?"
Oh.
Right? People are like, this is said it was Newfie React. They're expecting a dog to react to something in that video. And I'm like, come on now. I'm like, a Newfie is not just a dog, okay?
Maybe you can do one where you react to a Newfoundland dog walking into the room or something.
I should. Just a compilation of Newfoundland dogs doing things, and I'll react to it. Why not? Right?
Yeah, for sure. Listen, is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you think would be important to mention?
Wow, I don't know. I think you covered pretty much all of it.
Okay.
I mean, I can't think of anything else, really. You know, it's all good. Just I encourage everybody out there, you know, get onto YouTube as well. Do your thing. You know, no matter what that is, you don't have to do reaction videos. But I've been encouraging a lot of people to try to get onto YouTube because, like, there was one particular subscriber and patron of mine who just I could tell they were obsessed with the group Pentatonics. I don't know if you know them. They're like an a cappella group, but obsessed with them every day. Could tell me every move that they were making. I'm like, why don't you create a YouTube channel called PTX News, and every day you just take all these things and put it on the internet, and make your own channel, right? Just for that group, be like a fan group for that. She did it, and in a couple of months, she has 10,000 subscribers. So
wow.
I'm like, people, everybody, whether you're into woodworking or whatever your hobby is, just do it. You know, just create it. It doesn't cost anything. You do it. You'll be surprised how there's so many people that will be interested in joining you, seeing what you're up to. And even if you don't have amazing kind of like outstanding personality, you don't feel like you're good on camera, well, doesn't matter. If you're good at something else, just share it with the world, and and eventually, it'll turn into something. That's the way I look at it.
What if I made a Newfie reaction YouTube channel?
Surprisingly, there are channels out there that's their only purpose. They do mashups of reactions. They do reactions to reactions. So they'll take like a particular video, say like, I don't know, name a band. I can't think. Garth Brooks. I don't know. I don't know what I can weigh. But basically, yeah, they'll go and search Garth Brooks reactions to a particular song, and then they'll take 10 or 20 of those, take them off the internet, strip them off YouTube or whatever, and then put them all into a mashup, and then they'll react to like the 10 different reactors, and they'll sync them up so that they're watching other people react. I'm like, this is like Inception. What's going on here?
Right.
Like, but how far do you want to take it? But yeah, sure. If you want to do that, by all means, have at it.
All right. I got a new career path.
Yep. There you go.
Well, listen, it's been fascinating. Thanks so much for taking the time to do this. I know you're a busy man.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. No,
My
I appreciate it. You got to end it the way that I always end it.
Oh, peace and love?
That's where you go. Peace and love, everybody. Peace, peace, peace. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right? You can do it.
Peace and love, everybody. Peace, peace, peace. Is that what you said?
Yeah, or you can just pick it up. As long as you say peace and love, that's all that matters. There you go. Look at that. Now look at you. You're spreading peace to the world.
Wonderful. All right. Thanks for joining. In St. John's, I'm Andrew Waterman for the SaltWire Network.